What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. Hope everyone had a nice holiday and a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. Got my Santa hat on today. Figured I haven't seen. Today, you guys, I'm either in the studio or on a Zoom call, but I haven't talked to you guys in almost 2 weeks. And I figured I'd give you guys as much spirit as I could on the show. I can possibly do. So I got my Santa hat on. It was the day after Christmas, but to me, the holiday spirit is all of December through New Year's, so I got my hat on today. But let's jump right in. We got a lot to talk about today. Let's talk some hockey. Let's start off with the standings for the Eastern Conference. New York Rangers lead the Eastern Conference right now, playing really well. They're 23-8-1. You know, the biggest difference with the Rangers, obviously, I'm a big Ranger fan, so I know from watching them all the time, they're much better defensively. Last year, they could score with anybody, and of course, they had a great goalie in Igor Shesterkin. But defensively, they were not very good. They're a lot better defensively this year, for sure. You know, they added, they didn't add a whole lot. They had Eric Gustafsson, who's been a nice little addition to like that third defense pairing. And they have, they're a very young defensive team. Keandre Miller's only gotten better. Braden Schneider's only gotten better. But the Reds have been a lot better defensively. Igor Shesterkin, he's been good, but he hasn't been great. Jonathan Quick has been their best goalie. Jonathan Quick, who looked awful last year from the Kings, and then he finished up in Columbus or wherever he finished up. And then, they signed him in the offseason until 1 year to be their backup goalie. And he looked awful in preseason, looked completely washed in preseason. As a fan, I was getting really worried. Like, if you already need a day off or he gets hurt, are they going to be – they got to score, 5 goals every game? He looked awful, and he's been phenomenal. He's statistically one of the best goalies in the league, if not the best. He's actually played really, really well. In second place, he had the Boston Bruins at 44 points versus the 47, Bruins at 19-7-6. So they've sold down a tiny bit after a blazing hot start. They've been a bit of a surprise. Been quite a few surprising teams this year. Boston's team obviously last year had a historically great regular season, but then lost from the first round to Florida, shockingly. And they lost a bunch of pieces in the offseason. We're expected to regress a lot. A lot of people thought they might just barely sneak in the playoffs and lose in the first round again. But they've been really good. They were second best team in the Eastern Conference right now. And third, the New York Islanders, as much as I hate to say it, Islanders are playing really well. They're 16-8-9 right now. They have points in 9 of their last 10, 6 wins, 3 overtime losses, only 1 regulation loss in the last 10 games. They're playing really well right now. In fourth is the Toronto Maple Leafs at 40 points. Florida also at 40 points, but Toronto's got to play 2 less games. Toronto's 17-8-6. Florida's at 19-12-2. If the Flyers with 40 points, they're 18-11-4. So same many games, same many points as Florida. They have 1 less win, 1 less loss, and 2 more overtime losses. So Philly has played very well. I mean, you know how it goes with John Tortorella. He gets 1 year out of his guys where he works them hard and he gets just the full everything out of each player. In my second year with the team, it's just like, dude, like, I can't do this anymore. Just shut up and stop screaming at me. So maybe this is the year he gets the most out of his guys. Obviously, last year didn't go so well. He clashed with some players. Flyers did not perform well. They've looked better so far this year. Philly right now is 6th in the East. 7th is Washington, 39 points. And 8th is Tampa also with 39 points. They've played. Washington's got 4 less games than Tampa. On the outside looking in, you have Carolina, who actually picked to win the Stanley Cup this year. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They are turning a point out of the playoffs. It has not gone so well for them. Yeah, the Devils are 3 points out. The Devils looked really good going into the year. Obviously, didn't have Jack Hughes, the best player, for a while, which hurt them. They're 3 points out. Detroit, who's 3 points out now. So their team, you obviously had to make they haven't made the playoffs in quite a while. They've gotten a little better the last couple of years. And also looking at Montreal has actually not been quite as bad as I thought. I thought that'd be absolutely horrible. Like in the last couple of years, but they're a little better. They're 4 points out. If the Penguins they're 5 points out of spot with 34 points. I thought they'd be better. we all know they're very old, but I thought they, could still be a decent team. Like one of the 5 or 6 best teams in the East. They have not been as good as I felt they'd be. That team, they might need to rebuild because they're just old. Talent wise, they're still one of the better teams on paper in the East. At least they should be. But Crosby is 35, 36. Malkin is in his late 30s, so Tang's in his late 30s. Their goalie Jerry can't stay healthy. Just they're very old. It's Buffalo Sabres with 32 points, and Buffalo's had a weird season. They've beaten a lot of really good teams. They beat the Rangers at one point. The Rangers, I think it was a few days ago, maybe it was a week ago, beat them. But they beat the Rangers earlier in the year. They beat the Boston Bruins, who are one of the best teams in the league. They scored 9 goals and beat the Toronto Maple Leafs, who were the 4th best team in the East. So they've beaten a lot of really good teams. And if you look at over I guess their resume, you would think, oh, this has got to be a good team. They got a lot of young pieces on that team. They've gotten better the last couple of years, even though they still haven't been able to make the playoffs. They've beaten a lot of good teams. This is probably finally of the year. If you were just not a huge fan, you just looked at it like that. But then when you look, they're 14, 17, 4. They're 7 points out of a spot. They're 3rd worst in the East. It's very weird how that has worked out. But they've been very inconsistent. When they play to the best of their ability, they're definitely one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. They can beat anybody, but you don't know what version you'll get with them. So that's why they are where they are in the standings. You have Columbus at 28 points. They just absolutely suck. Patrick Lyons, one of their best players, he's injured. He's out about 6 weeks. And the worst team in the East is the Ottawa Senators, who are 12 and 17. Last week they fired their coach, DJ Smith. I mean, Ottawa's a team that's been bad for quite a while. Haven't made the playoffs. It's been quite a few years. They spent a lot of money this offseason. They brought in Claude Giroux. They brought in Vladimir Tarasenko. They spent a lot of money. They look like they have a lot of talent offensively, and they look like a team that might be able to sneak into the playoffs, and it has not worked. Similar to the Buffalo Sabres, everyone looked at the Buffalo Sabres they got a lot of young talent. After they got the NHL long playoff drought, I think it's 12 or 14 years or something like that. Everyone thought this might be the year where they finally break into the playoffs, and so far it hasn't worked out that way. Same thing with Ottawa. Their team hasn't made the playoffs in a while. They've been very bad for a long time. They're very young, but they added some veterans in the offseason, looked like a team that was ready to take the next step, and right now they are the worst team in the Eastern Conference. So obviously it hasn't worked, and they just made a coaching change. In the Western Conference, the Vancouver Canucks right now are in first in the Western Conference with 49 points. They are the best team in the NHL. Who thought 35 games in, the Vancouver Canucks would be the best team in the NHL? They're 23, 9, and 3. Wow. There you go. They've won 7 of the last 10, points in 9 of the last 10. They're rolling. Vegas Golden Knights are something champions still playing great. 21, 9, 5 at 47 points. You have Dallas in third with 44 points. You have the Colorado Avalanche also with 44, but they play 2 more games in Dallas. They actually made a trade with Seattle. Yeah, traded Thomas Tatar to Seattle for a 5th round pick. Some news there. The Winnipeg Jets were in 5th place at 43. That's a bit of a surprise. They've been playing really well. They've won 8 of their last 10, points in 9 of their last 10. In 6th is the Los Angeles Kings with 42 points. In 7th is the Nashville Predators with 38. And the last team they went out was the Arizona Coyotes, who have been just the laughingstock of the NHL for quite a few years now. They're playing in a college arena, but 17, 14, and 2, 36 points. They're the last team in the West. You have the Blues, who are up point out. Of course, the last podcast I did, I believe, or maybe not the last one, but the one with 2 or 3 last ones I did before. I took the week off for Christmas and the holidays. I was talking with Redbox a little bit, but the Blues, they fired their coach, Craig Berube. And speaking of Redbox, he actually just requested the mic. So on cue, Redbox is going to join my show. So that is very good timing. Yeah, Blue and Redbox, can you hear me?
Merry Christmas, Jake. How's it going?
Merry Christmas, Red Box. It's going well. It's funny. I was just talking to you because you were on the last time I did this, or not the very last time, but like right before break, right before I was just in Florida for a week, so I didn't do the show. I was talking about how I was talking about how you were talking about just how like the Blues just fired their coach and how you kind of saw it coming, and then I look at I looked at the Twitter space and you had requested the mic, so it was perfect timing.
Well, it's the holiday season, which means holiday hockey.
Yep.
I watched some Canada versus Finland this morning.
Okay.
I'm watching Canada play in the Spengler Cup. I'm not sure if you know what that is.
Spengler Cup. What is that?
It is a tournament in Davos, Switzerland, where Canada goes every year, and they send a lot of the Canadians who play over in Europe go to play on it, and then one or two from the AHL and college.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We are playing a team called Berlunda at the moment.
Okay.
It's a Swiss team, I think.
All right.
They show it on TSN every year, and I like it almost as much as I enjoy the World Juniors, which I'm sure you'll be watching a little bit.
Oh, yeah. World Juniors is always a lot of fun.
U.S. beat Norway this morning as expected.
Yeah.
It was 4-1.
Not surprised. Norway has like, I mean, I'm not sure. I know also they're not saying NHL player. There's only a couple of guys in the league. Outside of Matt Zuccarello, there's not much. Norway doesn't have a ton of talent over there.
And he's not under 20 anymore.
No, he definitely is not.
Or anything close to that. Did you catch some of the Christmas Day sport yesterday?
I did. I was, I got home from Florida. My plane landed back in New York at around 3:30, 3:45. So I got home around like, in the afternoon.
Okay, no way to watch the games on the plane.
Yeah, so I didn't see the Chiefs Raiders game. Obviously, when I got off the plane, I got all these alerts like, oh, Patrick Mahomes, some bad turnovers.
Didn't see it either. I don't think we missed much.
Yeah, so I didn't see that game, but I saw the other two. So I did watch football all day. You know,
I did watch most of the Giants game. And
yep.
I watched the first 3 quarters of Ravens-Niners, and then I turned it off and went to bed.
Yeah, that game. Yeah, I thought, you know, well, after Sam Darnold got that touchdown in the fourth quarter and got to 2 touchdowns, I thought maybe they'll make it interesting, but then Darnold threw a pick.
30-12.
Yeah, I decided just to keep it on. I was thinking about it, and then when they made it, I was thinking about turning it off, and then Sam Darnold threw a touchdown. He made it 33-19. I was like, right, maybe they'll get a stop and they'll go down and score again to make it interesting at least. But then Darnold, with like 2 minutes left, threw another pick.
I was up at 4 a.m. I'm like, this is not.
I don't blame you. I mean, the game was fine. It was entertaining, but you know,
lots of good stuff for Christmas though.
That's good. Yeah, I got some nice stuff too.
Got a nice Bluetooth speaker that'll be fun for parties.
There you go.
Oh yeah, apparently, I mean, this won't do anything for me, but it's got like a light. You can set up light shows on it too.
Oh, okay.
Like it's one of those JBL speakers.
Oh yeah, I think is it the whoa? Does it like it lights up, right?
Yeah,
my friend has one of those. They're very cool and they're very good sound too. Which is obviously what you want it for.
I watched some of the New York Knicks game on it.
Yeah, Knicks picked up a big win on Christmas.
Turned that up. Oh man, it's not made for watching sports, but man, does it work well.
Yeah, those speakers are very good.
Well, I was home for most of the Ravens-Niners game, so I put that on there too. But.
All right.
Yeah, no, that's probably my favorite thing that I got this Christmas for sure.
Yeah, those speakers are very good. They're very good sound quality and they light up, which is very cool.
Yeah, that'll be fun when I got friends who will enjoy that.
Oh yeah.
And they hold a charge for like 12 hours. So
yes, they have good battery too.
Which is like the lifeline of most speakers, to be honest. That's pretty average. But...
yeah.
But yeah, I'm just relaxing, watching some hockey today. I don't think there's much on tonight, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Rangers fan, and the Rangers play tonight at 7, so I'll watch that. Other than that, there's not much on. There's not that much basketball on because we just had Christmas, so also you have Christmas. Of course, you have a lot of the big teams on.
No, that's not back tonight, is it?
I believe the Rangers are on tonight, unless I look.
I don't believe they are. I think they're back tomorrow, 27, 14 games.
Well, in that case, I have literally nothing to watch tonight then.
Battle of Ontario is one of them. That's how I remember.
All right, well, I guess tonight I'll have to figure out something to do. Maybe I'll call my friends and ask them if they're doing anything. Maybe I'll do that. Who knows?
A bunch of NBA on, but again, no Raptors tonight.
Yeah, and the Knicks aren't on either because they played on Christmas, so.
Oh, that sucks too. You would have been on the plane for that entire.
I know. It took off. It sucked because it took off at like 1, so it took off like right when the game started. By the time it landed, the game was basically over.
You caught the first hour then.
Yeah, I barely got really anything.
They don't do the Wi-Fi on the plane for you guys, or
there was, but it wasn't very good. And like my AirPod died like 5 minutes into the flight, so I was like, you know.
You couldn't charge. You didn't get to charge it beforehand. That's.
Yeah, I thought I charged it like a couple days prior, so I figured it had battery. When I first put it in, it was working. Then like I took it out because like the flight attendant was doing her little spiel. I was like, all right, let me.
One of them died. I went through AirPods and they broke twice, so I gave up on them. Usually, what happened with me is one of them would die. The other would.
Yeah, no, one of them was dead, right, and the other one. Like at first, I had battery. I was like, all right, I'll just use one, and then I took it out like briefly. It's like so I could hear what the flight attendant was saying, and then when she was done, I put it back in, and then all of a sudden it was dead. I was like, so I guess it had like 5 minutes of battery left, and the 5 minutes I had then like listening to music while they were still boarding the plane was all I had left. So I was like, all right, I just downloaded the movie and watched the movie on the plane. You know, I just kept it.
Place where they had the movies on the.
Well, no, I downloaded it on my phone.
Oh. I was gonna say if they had a movie entertainment system, they probably would have been showing the Knicks game.
I would have trust me. I would have pulled over someone like, please put the Knicks game on. You know, I got 2 hours and 2.5 hours to do nothing. Please put the game on.
Yeah, why not? No, I came home on. I think when I talked to you, I was still at school. No, I was home. I came home on the 5th, on the 16th.
Okay, so I think you talked to me because the 17th I left to go to Florida. So
it would have been before that. I think I'm going back to school the 5th, which is a little later than I would like to, but.
Yeah, I'm going back 13th.
The 13th?
Yeah, the first day of school was first day of classes the 16th, so.
Holy shit, you guys start late.
Yeah, we start a little late, so I'm able to go back a little later.
Man, we start the 8th.
Wow, that's actually pretty normal for colleges. I think my school just starts later than most. It's not like that. You guys start early.
It must, because that's like the 8th is when everyone in Canada goes back, in high school, college, university.
Also, yeah, you're also in a different country as well.
Like I think all of Canada goes. I mean, all public schools anyway, publicly funded ones go back the 8th. It looks like.
Hmm.
So like I'll be home for the. No, I won't be home for the final World Juniors. That'll be on the 6th. No, it won't. I'll be home for the World Juniors final this year. I wasn't last year.
All right.
We're probably gonna watch that. And the Stanley Cup final will be on New Year's Eve at 6 in the morning, which is always wonderful.
Oh yeah, that the time difference in different countries.
Man, Switzerland, yeah. Then it's man, I'm big into the darts too. That's on from the 15th all the way to January 3rd. So
The darts, interesting.
Oh yeah, World Championships. It's like the biggest thing in England for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks. And they have won me over. Huh.
Wow.
So that's how I spend like half of my holidays. Look at how much of a life I have.
I mean, I'm not much better. I spend my holiday break just watching whatever is on. I'll watch whatever game is on, basically.
Yeah, well, there's bowl games on this afternoon.
Yep.
Bowling Green in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's on now. As we're, it's 2:45. Not sure what time you guys who are listening to or seeing it. Right now it's 2:45 Eastern time. That game is on. We're playing Minnesota in the Quick Lane Bowl. Yeah, it did. It's sort of like 2, I think.
Yeah.
Quick Lane Bowl.
Yeah. I feel like they have two. I don't know. There's so many bowl games now.
I mean, to me, there's too many.
There is, and like some of these teams clearly don't deserve a bowl game.
Yeah.
Well, and then of course we have a team that's playing in a bowl game that deserves to be in the Final Four. But
yeah.
FSU.
Mm-hmm.
Like USC, just for how they tanked the second half of the season, should not be in a bowl game.
Exactly. Like they won like 7 games. Like, okay, cool, they can be in a bowl game, but like you were supposed to be like possibly in the playoff, and then you won 7 games. Like you don't deserve anything at that point.
Yeah, like Liberty and Oregon. I think that one's interesting.
That's a good game. There's always like one like group of 5 team that has a good year and end up being ranked, and they end up playing a Power 5, and it was like.
Liberty, I think, could have been higher this year, and Oregon was right on the cusp.
Oh yeah,
on the cusp of going to the playoff.
Yeah, they were 1 game away if they had beaten Washington.
They beat Washington.
They
might have made.
They would have.
I think they might have got snubbed.
They.
If they had won, I think
because of how broken the system is, you never know. On paper, they should have been in. You would think, but you never know with the committee. They like to do weird things.
I don't agree with. So
I mean, they won the SEC.
They did, but they didn't play particularly well the entire year. At least like the first half, they were pretty bad.
Yeah, it was definitely the committee. Definitely, they looked at SEC good, and they put them in.
Well, and of course, the expansion, is it next year? No, 2027.
Yeah. I think it's next year.
Next year, we're going to 12 teams, which is better.
Yeah.
It doesn't entirely solve the problem. I don't think is there guaranteed spots for the Power 5 winners?
I think like each Power 5 team gets in, and there's like the one best team from like the group of 5 will get in, and then there's like a bunch, and then there's just those 6 other spots.
Selection picks. Yeah, that's better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not going to see blatant snubs that way.
Right.
Like we did with FSU.
Mm-hmm.
Who went 13-0 and lost. Well, not lost, but finished. I think they finished 5th. And now they're playing Georgia, who I think an argument for Georgia could have been made to be there too, but
I agree.
I can see why they weren't.
Yeah, but
dropping from 1 to 6 in 1 week was. Or no, it was further. That you don't see that any other week other than selection week.
Yeah, it's weird because like Okay, so they lost to Alabama. All right, so I get why they didn't put them in. But if they truly want the 4 best team, which is what they say, I don't know if they actually, if that's what they actually do. But if they truly want the 4 best teams, are we sure Georgia isn't one of the 4 best teams in the country?
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, I think there could be an argument made that, I mean, was Michigan one of the best 4 teams? Yeah, but they had that whole cheating scandal that they're under investigation for
Yeah.
now. Like, should that didn't disqualify, that didn't at least move them down?
I mean, well, another thing you could argue is like their resume outside of Ohio State isn't that good.
Yeah.
And then Iowa, but Iowa can't score.
I think there would have been a lot of uproar if Iowa had made it.
Iowa.
But
that's the only other team they beat that's even somewhat relevant. Besides Ohio State.
So well, Penn State.
That's true. Yeah, they beat Penn State as well.
Penn State was not half bad this year either, but
every year they're like decent.
The problem I have with selection committees, because at least with March Madness, I mean, say what you will about it, it's got its own issues, but every conference winner, I think every conference winner in top division basketball gets in.
Yes,
I believe.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I think there's other allocated spots, and what is it? 16 of them are selection picks or something.
Yeah, it's so every conference winner gets in. So like whoever wins the conference championship in the conference tournament, they get in. And it's like whoever else just happens to qualify, they get in. But then there's your bubble teams, which are obviously it's like, all right, who's in, who's out, and then that makes up, and they find a way to make up 64 teams.
So, like, you're not going to see blatant snubs typically, like you do with the Final Four in college football, and I think that's part of the reason they're doing this expansion. A lot of people don't like it. I mean, like, most people, I say, look at what happened this year.
Exactly.
Get back to me on that, because I mean, we see, again, things like USC, who went 13-0, and people are saying, well, just because they were 13-0 doesn't mean they were one of the best 4 teams. They're playing in one of the best conferences in college football, and they swept their schedule.
Like, what else are they supposed to do?
There's literally no other way they could have made it in, and they were top 4 basically the entire year.
Yeah, and with Florida State, they kind of held against them that their quarterback was injured. I really think the main reason they didn't get in was like the committee looked at it as okay, oh wait, yeah, oh never mind. They looked at it as if all right, so Michigan's either going to play Alabama or Florida State. I just think they thought it'll be a better game versus Alabama, which probably isn't fair. But they looked at it like that, I think.
Well, they're in the top 4 all year.
Yeah, and they're the 3 seed. I'm playing Washington.
Oh, Washington's going to have a fun time with them. Oh, my God. Washington, it's going to be Washington, Michigan in the final.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think
Michigan will probably win, unfortunately.
I think Washington might beat them, but
and I would. That's the result I would like to see. Is it the result I think we will see? Probably not.
I mean, it'll be interesting. I don't see how Alabama beats them. I don't know how. I still think they're going to be able to generate any points, like really at all. Because Michigan's got a phenomenal defense, and the Alabama offense all year really hasn't been that great. It's gotten slightly better, but it's still not great. I think Michigan's just going to pound them, and then.
I agree. I think it'll be college football is such an offensive sport. You don't see too many defensive battles in college football these days. But yeah, I mean, it's not as bad as it was 5-6 years ago, but it's still bad. But Michigan, yeah, they're gonna have fun with them. Washington and Texas, I don't see much coming out of that game either, to be honest.
I think it'll be better, but Washington's gonna win. You say I think they'll win.
And like I know what final they're trying to set up.
Yeah, they want Michigan. I mean, those are the two clear-cut two best teams. So that they want those two teams. They want what happened last year.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying to do.
And then what happened at TCU? They just died this season.
I mean, they lost Max Duggan, their quarterback, and their top receiver, Quentin Johnson. But yeah, they were not very good this year. I mean, they came out week 1 against Colorado, who, obviously got a lot of hype because of Dion, but overall weren't that good and got just pounced.
I don't even think they made a bowl this year.
I don't think they did. I think you're right. I don't believe they did either. If so, it was not a very good one. They were not very good.
Because I remember last because it's always on a Monday, which I find very strange.
It's weird. I don't get it either. I understand.
On a Monday night, which is like, huh?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Which is the same, and I guess there's no NFL on that week, or not that night, or no, there is.
Oh, wow.
No, there's not. No.
Okay. That makes more sense, but still, Monday night, come on.
Like Monday, I remember it last year because I had a class that night, and I will again this year, actually.
Ooh.
And our prof let us out early because he wanted to go watch the And
yeah, I think it's on New Year's Day this year, which is weird. They usually have because I think the semifinal is on New Year's Day, which they usually don't do. They usually like New Year's Eve or the 30th. They have the semifinal, and then the football playoff is.
I can understand the argument though for having the semis on New Year's Day. Everyone's home.
That's true. I don't hate it. It's just different. I was just surprised, like when I was going through the schedule.
No, they were not. The Winter Classic is on like right at the same time.
Wow.
Which the Winter Classic is on at like 3 p.m. I think this year. It's weird. And it's
3 o'clock. Wow.
Where is it again? It's in Seattle.
Okay.
At the Mariners Stadium. It's Seattle, Vegas.
Oh wow. Okay.
Which actually won't be a terrible game.
Yeah, I mean Seattle's not great, but they're competitive, and Vegas is good. They're both.
Vegas is in the run for the President's Trophy.
Right. Yeah, they're 2 points out of it right now. They're second in the West behind Vancouver, which is like shocked.
Yeah, who saw that coming?
Yeah, who would have thought the day after Christmas, Vancouver had the most points in the league.
Yeah, I was a little confused about that one too. Vancouver, Vegas, and well, I feel like this one, the Rangers.
Yes, the Rangers would their first need for them, which I'm very happy about, of course.
But Edmonton's finally pulled themselves out of the dumpster.
Yeah, they're since they made the coaching change, they've been better.
They were able to recover because they're way too talented.
Oh yeah, they have the 2 best players in hockey, if you ask me.
Well, yeah, McDavid. I don't know. I don't think Dreisaitl's been as good this year, has he?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but recently, in the past, he's been almost as good as McDavid, basically.
I don't think they're running away with the top 2 positions in the scoring race this year.
Probably not. Maybe McDavid. Draisaitl, I haven't heard his name in the league as much as you usually do.
No, I haven't either.
Team-wise, they've definitely played better.
Is number 1? Well, I'll pull up the points standings anyway. I don't have the scoring in front of me, but
overall, as a team, they've played better. They were before they made the coaching change. They were like as bad. I think they might have been the worst team in the league. think rock bottom was when they lost to the Sharks, but then since they brought in Chris Knobloch to be the coach, they played a little better.
Well, Kucherov's got the most points with 57.
Okay.
He got 23 goals.
Matthews might lead the league in goals.
Yeah, Matthews. That's an interesting one. McDavid has no. McDavid's got 12 goals.
Really? He only has 12 goals?
Yeah.
That seems low for him at this point. I mean, he's always been like a guy who's like more of an all-around guy. He'll have like 35, 40 goals, and then he'll have another 70 assists, but still, that's very low.
Yeah, Matthews is 28, so he's leading Kucherov right now, it looks like, I think.
In goals, okay.
Which, yeah, McDavid's, I don't know, he had a slump for the first little while in the season, and I mean the whole team slumped behind him.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that'll change. The Oilers will come in as a 7 or 8, I think, now. Probably.
Yeah, they should get in. Not sure if they'll do anything to play out, but I would think they're only 5 points out of the playoff spot. And the 8 seed is Arizona, who probably won't hang on. I'm sure at some point they'll fall back to earth.
Yeah.
They're not a playoff team.
I'm sure they will too. That's have they found an arena yet? I know
they are still playing at Arizona State. They are still in a college.
Playing out of Arizona State. Do they got a contract there?
Oh, I think they have something set up. I'm not sure. I forget if it was finalized or not. But I do think there's at least something in the works.
Well, that's good. Because there was about a 5,000 seat arena.
Yeah.
Arizona State University.
Yeah.
It's literally like a campus. It's like a campus arena.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen pictures or been there, but another NHL team walking is probably like, really?
I couldn't imagine. Like, I'm sure they sell it out every time.
Oh, I'm sure shouldn't be that hard. 5,000 people.
But I don't understand how they've allowed that to go on.
I mean, Arizona didn't have much of a choice because they did to themselves. The ownership is abysmal. They didn't pay their freaking fees.
Where do they play?
They must have their own arena.
Could they not slot them in there until?
I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of places that they have the basketball and hockey. Obviously, Madison Square Garden. You have the Boston Garden.
Well, what I would say is the NHL pays until Arizona can get all their ducks in a row. Have the NHL pay it and then charge them, bill them for the cost. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's pretty sad. You have a professional team is playing in a college arena.
If it was an arena I don't know, if it was something on the level of the Big House or something,
yeah,
that'd be fine.
But obviously, it's not.
If it was a decent size, well, there are some college teams I think that have decent facilities.
Mm-hmm.
I'd imagine Boston College.
Yeah. Considering how much money the people pay to go there, I'm sure they have some money to build a nice stadium.
The bigger hockey schools, I'm sure do. Arizona State's not a big hockey school.
Not really, no.
I don't care if they play. I mean, the Vikings played out of. I know it's another sport, but the Vikings played out of the Golden Gophers on the Minnesota campus for a while. Well, their stadium was being built, did they not?
I'm not sure. I've never heard of that. I've never heard about that. I have to look it up, but it's. I mean, we've seen stuff like this before, like a team, something happens with their stadium, they just, it's just not safe to play in, or something happens, and in the 2 or 3 years while they build a new stadium, they had to just throw them somewhere. But like,
I'm not saying that like they shouldn't find a temporary spot. They should find one though that's up to professional standards.
right, yeah, at least put them in a like 5,000 people for a professional hockey team. That's just pathetic.
Like I think the capacity where we watch our university hockey team, that's like probably, geez, I think you could fit about 2,000.
Yeah.
If you no. I don't know. Let's see if my Echo. What's the capacity of Fort William Gardens?
Fort William Gardens' capacity was 4,680.
Wow.
Wait, you have a new notification.
No, it's not. William Gardens' capacity is 4,680.
That's almost as much as the Arizona State Stadium.
I mean, that proves my point, but that's just even more sad.
If your school can fit almost as much as the Arizona where the Coyotes are playing, that's something else.
You think the college hockey system in Canada would be good? It's not great. Now, it's because the universities in Canada have chosen to not make it great.
No.
But they don't like it. They don't put money into it like the American one.
Right.
Like come on, if we wanted to have an A-list college hockey scene in Canada, we would have no issue doing so.
Right, of course not.
I think we produced 1 or 2 players in the past 10 years, not many.
Mm-hmm.
But mine here, Lakehead, I guess we can fit 4,600 people into the. I thought it was like a quarter of that, but that's
right. You said not even 2,000, and you're looking up, and it's 4,600.
Unless there's another Fort William Gardens somewhere in the world, but that's a pretty unique name. I don't think so.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. Besides you bringing it up now, so that must be it.
No one really outside of northwestern Ontario would know what it. Well, no one outside of this region. Maybe if you lived in the Midwest,
right?
Because they have like, I don't know, Thunder Bay is kind of a hockey town, but you think?
Wow.
That's sad.
Thanks.
So sad. We have almost as many seats as
I know where the professional hockey team is playing.
Yes, where a top tier hockey team is playing.
Yeah, they're a dumpster fire. I mean, right now they're in the playoffs. It's not. We got 49 or 50 games to go, but they're the last team in right now in the West with 36 points.
Apparently, imagine the Stanley Cup at Arizona. Oh my.
Oh my God.
I imagine they'd move it. I don't think they'd let it happen.
At that point, they just tell the Coyotes, like, look, I know you supposed to have home ice for these games, but we cannot have you possibly clinching a Stanley Cup in their Arizona State Stadium. You gotta play somewhere else.
They could probably move it to, I don't know, wherever the Suns play.
I don't know if they could do that. That would be such bad business for the league. It would. I don't think they can do that.
Like how is Arizona State not in? Oh no, it's in Mesa, isn't it?
I couldn't tell you.
It's not in Phoenix, I don't think.
I don't think it is either.
Arizona's a huge state.
Yes, they're very big. They're one of the bigger states for sure.
Oh yeah, like I don't know. That's it's a possibility though. It is a genuine possibility we could see Stanley Cup hockey in Arizona.
That's crazy. I mean, I doubt the Coyotes. I mean, I don't think they're even gonna make the playoffs. I'm surprised they're even the 8th seed. Right, 33 games in, 35 games in. But Just imagine.
I mean, happened last year.
Right, Florida, as all you gotta do is get in.
Florida had the team to do it though. Also,
Yes, they could score. They can score. They can score with anybody, and their goalie got hot. That's all you need.
and I mean, they beat Boston, and then the rest of their path was pretty carved out for them. Actually, Toronto was a non-issue against them.
Right, and even Carolina didn't really give them any trouble.
Oh gosh, I'm. It's one of those other final games, game 4 or 5, that I remember where I was. I was at camp watching it, and I had a very upset cousin when they lost. Very upset young cousin.
Is that for Toronto?
Oh yeah.
That's a shame. You should tell them at least they won a playoff series this year.
One of these years we'll go to the conference final. I'm really trying to temper my expectations because we kind of had a slow start, but now we picked it up. We can do it. We've got all the people. Well, that's the thing. We don't have the goaltending.
No.
Lowell looked like he was going to be good, and now he's just average.
Yeah.
And then Samsonov, he was injured at one point, I think, and then
he's an okay goalie, like an average goalie.
And then I don't know, Matt Murray. I'd be shocked if he's still here by the end of the
Matt
year.
Murray, yikes! I don't know what Otto was thinking when they gave him that contract. That's just brutal.
I don't know. I mean, I like him because he's a Thunder Bay boy, and that's. I was always kind of hoping that he would get. I mean, he's 33 also, I think.
Yeah.
He's tail end of his career for sure.
Yeah, he's washed.
So he's not. But he was our number 2 for a while last year. And then Wool showed up, and I think he came from the minors.
Yeah, I think Murray hurt at one point last year.
Yeah, for quite a while.
Yeah, I think I remember like in the playoffs, they're like, "Oh, Matt Murray's supposed to come back." I was like, "Damn, I haven't heard that name in a while."
And then I think he did for one.
I'm pretty sure like he was out for forever. And all of a sudden, it's like, "Oh, he's finally coming back."
I think he did come back for a while, and then.
Or at least he was active. I'm not sure if they played him because it was in the late part of the year, but he was at least like very close, so like he was healthy on the roster. I'm not sure if he got in the game though.
Alrighty, well, actually, I think we have another Christmas party to go to now. I wasn't there. Well, I didn't think we were gonna go, so I've got to get out of here. It was fun chatting.
It was a lot of fun, Redbox, as always. You're welcome anytime. Thanks again for coming on. Enjoy your Christmas party.
I'll be around this year. Again, I'm not doing much holiday season, so I'll be around.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. That was Redbox. Always fun talking with him. So let's finish up. Rest of the Western Conference, you have Minnesota's 2 points out. Minnesota always finds a way to be mediocre out. It's almost impressive. You have Calgary's at 33 points. They're 3 points out. You have Seattle's 3 points out. They've been playing a little better. They were struggling for a while. You have Edmonton with 31 points. I was just talking about this with Redbox just now. Ever since they made the coaching change, they've pulled themselves out of the gutter. They're 5 points out. You have Anaheim at 24. They just really suck. Anaheim, they have a couple pieces. They have a couple of young players that I really like. Trevor Zegras is definitely one of them, for sure. They haven't put it all together yet. If Chicago have 21 points at 10, 22, and 1, they basically have Connor Bedard, who's phenomenal. He'll win the Calder Trophy, but they have literally nothing else. And then the Sharks at 9, 22, and 3, they just absolutely suck. They're just absolutely pitiful. All right, so that's hockey. Talk some basketball. First of all, let's talk about the Christmas games. Knicks pick up a win over the Bucks, 129-122, 38 points for Jalen Brunson. This guy Brunson, he is just phenomenal. I mean, I did think he would break out to an extent when they got him last year. Seeing him get better every year in Dallas. His last year in Dallas, he played very well. I try to tell people, in Dallas, Luka has the ball so much. He's going to have the ball so much more in New York. But for him to just come here last year and average 24 points a game, be an absolute stud in the playoffs, and now come back and even better this year and give you 25 a game, be as clutch as he is every night he's putting up big numbers. Obviously, he had against Phoenix, he gives you 50, 9 of 9 from 3, 12 of 12 in the field in the second half. He gives you 38 against Milwaukee on Christmas. He had a game that they lost recently. I think it was maybe against the Clippers or something. He had 36. Every night this guy is showing out. He's been absolutely incredible. Problem is, he needs some more help. But they win for the Knicks. They gotta get better defensively. Their perimeter defense is just terrible, and their transition defense might be just as bad, if not worse. The problem is, they can definitely score. Brunson's also been great. Julius Randle, outside the first 5 or 6 games, has been brilliant. Quickly for the most part, he's played well. No, RJ's been struggling, but the last 2 games, he's played well. And Josh Hart's overall been pretty good. I know they don't have Mitch Robinson, but Hartenstein stepped up. I'm not even a Mitch Robinson guy. He's great rebounding. He was playing well, but overall, can't really score. Isn't a great defender. Can't shoot free throws. Yes, he was one of the best. He was maybe the best offensive rebounder in basketball when he got hurt, but I'm sure at some point he would have fallen off. The Nuggets beat the Warriors, 120-114. Which had 26-14-8. They're 22-10 the year now. Denver Celtics over the Lakers, 126-115. 28-11 from Porzingis. Anthony Davis from the loss at 40-13. Heat beat the Sixers 119-113. Heat and Sixers didn't have their star players. Heat didn't have Jimmy Butler, and Sixers didn't have Joel Embiid. That's today's NBA. You got people save up money to buy their kids to tickets to a Christmas Day game at Heat Sixers. Big game, 2 good Eastern Conference teams, and the 2 star attractions aren't there with minor injuries. Butler had a calf injury and Embiid had an ankle injury or something. But Jaime Jaquez Jr., the rookie from Miami, 31 points and 10 rebounds. He's played really well this year. I always liked him. He was good at UCLA. I liked him coming out. I liked when the Heat drafted him. I thought he'd be an important part of the rotation. I really did. But he's been absolutely phenomenal. He's actually leading all rookies in scoring since in the month of December. He's averaging over 16 points a game in December. And Tobias Harris had 27 in the loss. And Mavericks over the Suns, 120-114. Whenever Luka plays the Suns, he tends to go off. For him and Devin Booker have a bit of a friendly rivalry. 50 points for Luka. Also at 15 assists. Right now, actually at 32 in the loss, but it was only the 4th player to have 50 on Christmas Day. For the NBA standings now, East Boston Celtics have the best record in the Eastern Conference. They are 23-6. They have the best mark in the entire NBA. 23-6. They are 14-0 at home. The day after Christmas, they have not lost a home game. That's crazy. 14-0 at home. They just have so many guys that can beat you. Not only also they're led by Jason Tatum, who's going to be a top 3 player in basketball. You have Jaylen Brown, who's a great player. Kristaps Porzingis is a great player when he's healthy. Derek White might be an all-star, plays both ends. And they play both ends, too, Tatum, obviously, is the lead on both sides of the ball, as is Jaylen Brown, as is Derek White, especially Derek White defensively. Porzingis is a good defender. So, they got so many quality players, and they play both ends. Which you don't see it in Boston and not Boston. You don't see it in today's NBA. You have a lot of teams, to score 150, 120 every game, but are giving up 125. Look at the Knicks. Seems like everyone that's score 100 to 120, but they're giving up 130. That's why they're, tier 2, not tier 1 of NBA teams. You have W's in there. They played very well. 20-9 this year. Joel Embiid might be the MVP of the league right now. You have Orlando 17-11. They've played well this year. You have Miami 18-12. They've been playing well. You have Knicks at 17-12. Overall, they've been decent. They need another piece. They got to make a move with the trade line where they got a big man because they're a little thin there. With Mitch Robinson now for the season. And Kirkle Sims is out right now. So right now they have Hartside. They brought back Taj Gibson for a third stint. They brought him off the couch. They played like 15 minutes against on the Christmas. Kind of had to. He's only in center they have. The first point team is Cleveland 17-13. They haven't been as good as we thought. They've had some injuries. They were without Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, two of their best players right now. Of course, their all-star point guard. Of their second best player besides Donovan Mitchell, and Mobley's probably their third best player. They're big man, great defender, could be a star in the future. He's also injured right now, so they've dealt with injuries throughout the year. If Indiana, who's at 500, they got to a great start. Tyrese Halliburton's phenomenal. That's something they haven't, not a ton else. You have Brooklyn, who's been 9 spot, 14-15. It's no McCabe showing nothing really else. Well, the 13-18 are the last playing team. I don't know what's going on there. Zach LaVine's out now. Then, that's looking at Atlanta 12-17. I don't know what's going on there. Now Deontay Murray might be getting traded. The Lakers are looking at him. The Knicks are looking at him. You have Toronto at 11-18. They're also struggling. They need to pick a direction. They need to commit to competing and actually build on this core, or just blow the whole thing. You have Charlotte, who's 7-20. Yikes. They are not good. You have the Washington Wizards at 5-23. Jordan Poole has looked absolutely terrible. He's made no difference. They suck. And the Detroit Pistons, they are 2-27. They have lost 26 games in a row. That has tied an NBA record. Why is it that, how did I do a podcast? I took, what? Like, I think it was 11 days off, came back, did another podcast, and they still have yet to win a basketball game. They have not won a basketball game since before Halloween, and we are past Christmas. How do you do that? Look, that team is terrible. It's terrible. But you have Kate Cunningham, who you drafted number one overall a couple of years ago, who's playing very well. You have Jaden Ivey, who's a top 5 or 6 pick a year or two ago. You have a big guy in Duran, who's a lottery pick last year. You have Alsar Thompson, who's a high pick, the 5th pick in the draft this year. Other than that, Bogdanovich is a decent 3-and-D guy on your bench. Other than that, there's nobody else. James Wiseman hasn't shown a whole lot. Marvin Bagley isn't anything special. Alec Burks isn't anything special. But Monty Williams, $78 million. I have never seen a team be worse defensively than this team. They are the most just pathetically effortless team defensively. Much like you've seen that random dude like on TikTok keeps doing these long TikToks, just exposing just how bad they are defensively. Might as well make that guy the coach. Patriot, yes, the team is bad, but they won 17 games last year, and they are significantly worse. How do you get significantly worse after you go 17-65? And they shouldn't be. Because Kate Cunningham, who's probably your best player, was injured for most of last year, and now he's healthy. He's been healthy the whole year. Jaden Ivey's got another year under his belt. Jalen Duran has another year under his belt. You draft Alsar Thompson, 5th overall. A full year of James Wiseman. A full year, Marvin Bagley and another year under his belt. How are they this much worse than last year? And they were the worst team in basketball last year. I believe 17-65. It's amazing. Also, if you look at their schedule, I don't know if there's 5 more games they could win. you don't remember the Charlotte Hornets in 2012? They had like 9 wins. They're looking at that. Like, this is just embarrassing. Like, they're about to go 2 whole months without winning a basketball game. Like, every time I think, oh, this is probably where they break it. Now, they played Utah. They go, all right, Utah isn't very good. They're a one-man show at Laurie Marketing. Nope. They played Brooklyn. Brooklyn's really mediocre. They can't score for life, and then Brooklyn drops like 120 plus on them. I'm like, what the heck? This is embarrassing. I mean, their roster construction to me kind of sucks. Like, I think Ivy and Cade in the backcourt could be really good for a long time, but if you have a guy in Elsar who's a rookie who, he's not a good 3-point shooter. Okay, that's fine. But they need a stretch 4 or a stretch 5 to kind of hide him, and they don't. They have a lot of talented big guys. Jalen Duran is really good. I like the talent on him. He's very good. You have Marvin Bagley, who's okay. Obviously, he's second on the mistake track and second overall, but he's okay. You have James Wiseman, who he kind of had a rough deal of it. He was so raw. He really needed to play right away, and he goes to Golden State, who obviously they kind of got very lucky getting a second pick and second or third pick, whatever it was, in the draft. And we all knew they were going to be a serious playoff contender, a championship contender, so he didn't really get a chance to play. It kind of screwed him up. And he's still young, so I'm still giving him a chance, but right now he's just okay. What I'm trying to say is none of these guys in the also have Isaiah Stewart, who's he's okay. None of these guys, are scaring you as like a stretch 4 or stretch 5. So the roster construction doesn't really make any sense. They need to trade a couple of these guys and get somebody else in there. Trade, maybe you package Bagley and Stewart, maybe, and grab somebody else, because this is just ridiculous. 2-27. If nothing else, just get a bunch of draft picks back, at least, so you can just build one piece at a time. But Troy, the GM, overall, really has done a great job. Like, their roster construction makes no sense. $78 million of coaching, and this is what you get? Like, it's just pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. The West, the Minnesota Timberwolves are 22-6. Absolutely phenomenal. You have Denver 22-10. They're still right there. Oklahoma City's 18-9. They're in third place in the West. Home with McGrath. Shy is great. Sacramento is 4th at 17-11. You have 5th is Dallas, 18-12. They're actually a little better than I expected, Dallas. Wasn't sure, if Kyrie and Luka would fit together. Would Kyrie stay healthy? Would he do something stupid and cause distractions? But they've been better than I expected. You have the Clippers at 17-12. They've been playing really well. First playing team is the New Orleans Pelicans. And the 8th seed is the Rockets, who are playing better. 9th spot is the Lakers, who have been struggling lately. You have Golden State, the last playing team in there at 500, obviously. Stuff does not have a lot of help. Clay, was playing hard, but then they have like 4 or 5 really good games in a row. He struggled against Denver. I think Draymond Green is suspended. Steve Kerr's trying to shoot from one every day. The Suns, they're also in the half team out of the play-in. Apparently, Kevin Durant's frustrated. Obviously, Bradley Beal's been injured most of the year. Also, that team's got no size. They can't play defense. They're not very good. Yeah, Utah was not very good. They're 12-19. Netherlands is 9-19. By the way, they're 3-0 since John came back. So John Morant's has played 3 games this year, and he has more wins than the Detroit Pistons. So bad they are. But of course, he's still fighting with it playing. But Giles, when he first came back, had 25 or 35 points and a game winner. So they've played most since he came back, but still, they're a big haul. You have Portland, who's 7-21. They absolutely suck. And the Spurs are also atrocious. They are 4-24. At one point, they had lost 17 games in a row. They just suck. Because Victor Wembanyama is literally the only basketball player with any sort of talent. Jeremy Sochin might be the worst basketball player I have ever seen. Good God, he is atrocious. Trey Jones sucks. Zach Collins sucks. Devin Vassell is pretty good, but that's about it. They are terrible. All right, I'm just going to talk some NFL, and then we're going to wrap up. There's a few other things I was going to talk about, but we went a little longer than expected. So I'll save that for tomorrow. Pick up the NFL this week. Thursday Night Football, you had the Rams over the Saints, 30-22. Stafford over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Puka Nacua, big game. This Saints team, they are so bad. Derek Carr, he's not good. He's not good. That Saints team is as mediocre as it gets. Rams up to 8-7. Saints up to 7-8. On Saturday, you had Steelers just blew out the Bengals, 34-11. Mason Rudolph plays well, and he's going to start this week again. Jake Bragg those 3 interceptions. Big game from Pickens. The Bills sneak past the Chargers, 24-22. They've now won 3 in a row. The fact that the Chargers were that competitive, Brad to fire Brandon Staley against a good Bills team shows you how bad of a coach Brandon Staley was. Thank God he was fired. I mean, of course, Tom Tosca fouled him out the door. GM. I almost beat the Colts 29-10. Heineke played pretty well. Gardner Minshew struggled. Was also sacked 6 times. Not going to stay in their division because their division just got awful. Seahawks over the Titans 20-17. And Geno Smith lost 2 touchdowns in the end of an injury. Lions over the Vikings 30-24, and it has finally happened. The Lions win their first division title in 30 years. It's weird. Dan Campbell was a player on the 0-16 Lions, and then fast forward like 15 years later, he's coaching the Lions and led them to their first division title in 30 years. Just beat the Commanders over 28. They advanced with a 20-point lead. There's nothing else to say. Solid. Douglas and Packard are coming back. They're just waiting on their Rodgers next year. I'm done yelling about them. At least they won, I guess. Packers over the Panthers 30-30. We'll say Bryce Young played the best game of his career for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was a promising sign for him. Browns over the Texans 36-22. Joe Flacco, man, for 368 and 3 touchdowns against 2 interceptions. He is just slinging it out there. Amari Cooper 265 yards, a Browns single game record. Joe Flacco off the couch and he's rolling. Because all he's doing, he fell back, and I literally think they told him, Joe, look, we have a great defense. We got some nice pieces on offense. Just drop back and just swing it. As soon as you see a receiver on the field, just swing it. Whatever happens, happens. All you got to do is score 21, 24 points with this defense. They'll run the ball a decent amount. You just do what you do best. Just swing the football. Because remember, Kevin's offense that he runs, it's basically the same offense that Gary Kubiak ran. And Gary Kubiak was Flacco's offensive coordinator at one point. So it's, Kubiak was also in Minnesota when Stefanski was there as well. So it's the same offense. He knows the offense. Kansas City probably told him, look, you know the offense. Just go out there and run it to the best of your ability, all right? Swing the rock. Get the Bucs over Jaguars 30-12. Baker Mayfield's been playing really well for 283 and 2 touchdowns. He's played very well this year. So kudos to him. Trevor Lawrence hurt his shoulders. He might miss this week. Bears over the Cardinals 27-16. Meaningless game. Dolphins over the Cowboys 22-20. Dolphins finally beat a good team. Dallas, they're such frauds. You had the Patriots over the Broncos 26-23, and upset. Billy Zappi played really well. Billy Cherwin, the last second 56-yard field goal. Broncos playoff hopes now on life support. And Monday games, Raiders huge upset over the Chiefs, 20-14. Mahomes' first division loss after November in his career. He did not play well. He fumbled the snap. the direct snap to Pacheco, who handed it off to Mahomes. He fumbled out in the next play. Pick six. Jack Jones. He's got pick six in back-to-back games. He was a young player in New England. They drafted him last year. He flashed last year before getting hurt, and also he had all the issues this year. He got hurt. He came back. He cut him, and he's blown out with the Raiders. Raiders went 20-14. Chiefs, they are really struggling. Mahomes is frustrated. The receivers are terrible. The offensive line is terrible. The right tackle, Jawan Taylor, is a penalty machine. They are terrible. Eagles over Giants, 33-25. Tommy DeVito got benched at halftime. Tyler Taylor actually looked better than Tommy DeVito did. Eagles, they almost lost at home to the Giants, though. They are, they are not looking good. And they got some help from referees as well. And the one where they called the false start on John Michael Schmitz, actually, he did a little headbutt. I don't think that's allowed, so people were complaining about that. I didn't have a problem with that, but on that last drive, I thought the Eagles on the passing interference on one that Robinson wasn't called. I thought that should have been a penalty. He looked closely in the last throw of the game. Tyler Taylor from the 30-yard line on the last play when he got picked off in the end zone. One of the Giants receivers got shoved in the back of the end zone. Shoved in the back of the end zone. That should have been a pick. And then the Ravens stomped the 49ers. 33-19. Purdy goes 4 picks. Got hurt towards the end of the game, so Sam Darnold finished up. Trying to say he's fine, but they're making a statement win. That team is phenomenal. 12-3, best record in the NFL. Lamar's playing really well. He's an MVP favorite right now. I still like Christian McCaffrey, but he's a quarterback. He'll get the bias, unfortunately. But Lamar's been playing really well. They have the best run game lane. The receivers are stepping up. That defense is phenomenal. They might be the best defense in the league. Very deep. They are absolutely phenomenal. They're very well coached with John Harbaugh. Tom Longo's done a great job. The offensive coordinator, their defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald, might be a head coach next year, in a couple of months rather. This team is phenomenal. Let's talk about the standings. The AFC East, you have Miami already clinched the playoff spot. They have a tough game against Baltimore this week. If they win this game, they will clinch the division. If not, unless the Bills lose this week, AFC East will come down to the last game of the season. The picks are out. AFC North, you have the Ravens who have already clinched a playoff spot. They look like they're going to be the 1 seed. They basically need to lose out to win out and not win the division. Not going to happen. If Cleveland's right there, you have every team over 500. The Steelers and Bengals all scored 8-7. The Bengals are 0-5 in the division. Great 2 against everybody else, but still 0-5 in the division. That's AFC South is going down so hard. Jacksonville, Colts, and seconds all at 8-7. Jacksonville was really struggling. They've lost 4 games in a row. Chiefs at 9-6. All of a sudden, the Las Vegas Raiders are not mathematically eliminated in that division. Chiefs are really struggling. NFC East, the Eagles already put the playoff spot 11-4, but they have lost 3 of the last 4. They are really struggling. Their offense doesn't look as fiery. They're committing a lot of stupid penalties. They've been a bad second half of the year. Dallas already put the playoff spot, but they also look fraudulent. They can't stop the run. The New York Lions have wrapped up that division. The Vikings, Packers, they're technically still alive in wild card contention. NFC South, the Bucks lead that golf division 8-7. They have the Falcons, hit to 7-8. NFC West, the 49ers already clinched the division. Then you have the Rams 8-7. Looking at the playoff picture right now in each conference in the AFC, the 1 seed is the Baltimore Ravens at 12-3. You could argue our favorites will win the whole thing. 2 seed is Miami. The 3 seed is Kansas City. 4 seed is Jacksonville. The top 3 wildcards are Cleveland. And Indianapolis. You have Houston, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati are also 8-7 along with the Colts. You have the Raiders are a game out, as is Denver. NFC, the 49ers are the 1 seed. The 2 seed is actually I believe Detroit. 3 seeds Philadelphia. The 4 seeds Tampa. The top 3 wild cards are Dallas, the Rams, and Seattle. You have the Vikings, Falcons, Packers, and Saints who are a game out, and the Bears are 2 games out. They're hanging by a thread. right, that's all we got for you guys today. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.